So good morning, everybody. So we got nothing too crazy to cover here today, but some very important reminders, I would say. Um, I because Vector Connect is doing some maintenance work. I cannot pull up our exact sales details yet, but I do want to recognize Brandon and Caroline for leading the way. Brandon's had 3,000 plus CPO orders this week. He's well over 3,000 in sales. Caroline is, I believe, just under $3,000 in sales. And then, of course, we still got today to finish the week off strong. So if you're not where you want to be, the point is that most of the time when you set high goals, you're not going to be exactly where you want to be, okay? So, Brandy, I know this is impromptu, but we had a pretty good conversation yesterday at the phone jam. So, Brandy, if you could you summarize as best as you can the conversation that we had yesterday? What your takeaways from it were? You're muted if you're talking, by the way.
Okay. You can hear me now, right? Okay.
Yep.
So one of the biggest takeaways for me yesterday was when you're getting in this negative state, when you're not doing really well, to not isolate yourself and really just like communicate with your managers, and to do things to remind yourself that you're kind of where you need to be, and like putting little notes everywhere where you can see them, just like reminders of things that you need to ask yourself or tell yourself, like what would the best version of me do, and also just not to take it too fast, like slow down sometimes, don't try to do too many new things at once. Like I really like your football analogy, like the football coach doesn't try all the plays, doesn't try a new play like in a game. They practice first and then they try it out in the game. So yeah,
For sure. So when in a job where most of the work is done remotely, it's really easy to isolate yourself. It's really easy not to reach out to people. It's really easy to kind of become a victim of your own mentality, a victim of your own thoughts. However, that is not the best course of action that anyone can take. Best course of action is you stay in touch with everybody else, just like it was a job where everybody's working at the office together at the same time. Because if you isolate yourself, it's typically not going to lead to the right things. If you only have one perspective and that perspective is your own, there's a 99.9999999% chance that just that perspective alone is not going to be enough. Okay? That's why no matter what the sport is, what the company is, what the problem that's being solved is, like coaches and teammates they help. Okay? So you're not going to leave conversations with your teammates and your coaches worse off than when you started. It just doesn't happen. Okay? At least not here, not in this organization. So it's just really important that you guys remember that adversity is going to happen, and it's all about how you react to it and how you respond. So much of success has to do with how much adversity you were able to overcome and how quickly you're able to bounce back. We've talked before about being anti-fragile. So, and again, anti-fragile is not just about bouncing back from adversity to where you were before. Being anti-fragile is about coming out stronger than you were before when you handle adversity. So I was telling Brandy yesterday that, like, for example, in my life, especially right up to and as a sales representative, that was some of the most trying days of my entire life, without question. Just things that were really, really, really challenging. But looking back, I'm so glad I had to go through all those things because they helped shape me to who I am today. And I'm definitely glad that I went through them as a kid and as a very, very young, just becoming an adult, than if I had to wait till I was like 32 years old, like I am now, to face adversity. Because that helped me prepare for things now. Like whatever happens now, for example, guys, and you'll get to this point too, whatever happens now just rolls off my back. Okay. As a manager, we definitely have times where we're tried, where things are frustrating, where we have to face adversity, where we get annoyed, mad, teams not being cooperative, whatever it happens to be. But the faster you can bounce back from that, like getting out of like our victims mentality where we start feeling bad for ourselves and we start like wishing things were easier and all that, the faster that you can embrace the challenge and embrace the adversity, the easier your life will be. So it's like when you're tough on yourself, life will tend to be a little bit easier on you. But when you're really easy on yourself and wimpy on yourself, life tends to hit a lot harder. Okay? So this morning, I want to talk about the carrots, the eggs, and the coffee. It's like a fable here, okay? So a young woman went to her mother, told her about her life and how things were so hard for her. She didn't know she was going to make it, and she wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting, tired of struggling. It seemed that whenever one problem was solved, a new problem arose. So her mother took her to the kitchen. She filled up 3 pots with water and placed each on a high fire. Soon the pots got to a boil. In the first pot, she placed some carrots. In the second pot, she placed some eggs. And in the last pot, she placed some ground coffee beans. She let them sit and boil without saying a word. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. Then she ladled the coffee and placed it in a bowl. She turned to her daughter and she asked me, "Tell me, what do you see?" "Carrots, eggs, and coffee," she replied. Her mother brought her closer and asked her to feel the carrots. She did. She noted that they were soft. The mother then asked the daughter to take an egg and to break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, the mother asked the daughter to sip the coffee. The daughter smiled as she tasted its rich aroma. The daughter then asked, "What's it mean, Mom?" Her mom explained that each of these objects had faced the same exact adversity, boiling water. Each also reacted differently. The carrot went in strong, hard, unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and it became weak. The egg had been pretty fragile, had a thin outer shell that protected its liquid interior, but after sitting through the boiling water, its inside became hardened. The ground coffee beans were unique, however. After they were in the boiling water, they actually changed the water. "So which are you?" she asked her daughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Think of this. Which am I? Am I the carrot that seems strong, but with pain and adversity, do I will to become soft and lose my strength? Am I the egg that starts out with a malleable heart, but changes with the heat? Did I have a fluid spirit, but like after a death, a breakup, a financial hardship, or some other trial, have I become hardened and stiff? Does my shell look the same, but on the inside, I'm bitter and tough with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean, Bean actually changes the hot water, the very circumstance that brought the pain. So when the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and the flavor. So if you're like the bean, when things are at their worst, you get better and you change the situation around you. You don't let the situation change you. When the hour is darkest and trials are the greatest, do you elevate yourself to another level, or does the adversity bring you down to a lower level than what you deserve? So how do you handle adversity? Are you a carrot? Are you an egg? Or are you a coffee bean? See, guys, you have to remember, it's not just you that's going through the SC2 push right now. It's every office in the Midwest region, almost every office in the United States, every sales rep. So there's people that start off hot and then adversity strikes and they lose their enthusiasm. They die down. They stop trying. They give up on their goals. They're the people that start off strong, but the adversity comes and they get soft. They lose their strength. They just die out. That's some types of reps. Then there's the other types of reps that just become really hardened. They become bitter. Like they keep going, but it's not the same. And then there's other reps that get better with adversity. They get better as the push moves on. Their second week is better than their first. Their third week, the last week, is better than the first 2 weeks combined in some cases. Combined. So when things are at their worst, you perform your best. That's where growth comes from. Because, guys, when you go to SC2, SC2 for many of you is probably going to be a life-changing experience. You're going to hear stories from people's push weeks that just totally reconsider what you thought you were ever capable of. It's going to open up your eyes like nothing in Vector ever has before. The exposure is one of the main things that SC2 is so valuable. Kind of like how I talked about at the division meeting, how you can be a big fish in a small pond, but if all you focus on is your small pond, it's hard to grow beyond that. So then you got to focus on the division. And if you're the biggest fish in the division, then you got to focus on the region. And then when you become the biggest fish in the region, then you focus on nationally. So right now, whether you're a big fish in a small pond, a medium-sized fish, or a small fish right now, become a bigger fish. SC2 is where it's at. SC2 is where the champions go. SC2 is where the champions celebrate all the accomplishments. Get you on Chris's radar even more. That's why it's so valuable. There's a million reasons why. That might be an exaggeration. I don't know if I could come up with a million, but I come up with a lot. So it's one of those things that it's like the Super Bowl for Vector. And or it's like the celebration of the Super Bowl, essentially, the playoffs, whatever you call it. It's like the culmination of all the hard work put in for the SC2 push. So whenever you're pushing yourself, whenever you're getting out of your comfort zone, guys, there's going to be adversity. Like Rob Robinchek sold $50,000 worth of Cutco just himself last week. I guarantee he probably has had to handle more adversity than you guys combined in just a week and a half, 2 weeks. Because that's what happens when you put yourself out there more, is that you deal with more challenges. When you're pushing yourself, remember the acronym PUSH, persist until something happens. Persist until something happens. So I saw a good quote. Bring it up. So this is from Vince Lombardi. He used to be considered like the greatest football coach of all time. Now most people consider Bill Belichick in the present day era to be the best coach. But Vince Lombardi said, it's easy to have faith in yourself and have discipline when you're a winner, when you're number one. What you got to have, though, is faith and discipline when you're not the winner. Meaning, when you're not winning, that is when it is the most important. That's the most important time that you have to keep the faith. You have to stay disciplined because that's the only way you can become a winner. Okay? So, Brandon talked a little bit about something like this yesterday, but this is from General George S. Patton. He said, now, if you're going to win any battle, you have to do one thing. You have to make the mind run the body. Never let the body tell the mind what to do, because the body will always give up. Body's always tired in the morning. It's always tired at noon. It's always tired at night. But the body's never tired if the mind's never tired. Thought that was a pretty cool quote. So what it comes down to, guys, again, the reason why we talk about this so much is because it's an everyday relevant topic. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be annoying days. There's going to be cancellations. There's going to be last-minute reschedules. There's going to be no-shows. There's going to be no sales. You take all of it with stride. And no matter what happens, you just keep moving forward. No matter what happens, you do the next demo. You make the next calls. If you need a pep talk, you call us. No matter what happens, you don't give up on yourself. Regardless of how crazy things get, how busy you are, how this, how that, whatever. We can all come up with a million excuses, of course. You just keep moving forward. It's the only thing you can do to reach your goals. Because I'll give you a 100% money back guarantee on what could happen. If you don't keep moving forward, there's a 0% chance you will reach your goals. I'll take that one to the bank and cash that check every time. If you give up on yourself, there's a 0% chance you'll reach your goals. Simple as that. So, how are you going to respond when adversity strikes today? How are you going to respond when challenges happen today? Ask yourself again, how would the best version of me respond to this situation? Because that's what you need to do. You already know the answer. Sometimes you have to be reminded of it. So, like I was telling Brandy, and like she said this morning, if you need to if you need to set an alarm or a reminder in your phone to get a notification for that question, set a reminder. If you need to like write it on your bathroom mirror, do it. If you need to, like, I don't know, put a note in your phone with that question, like whatever you need to do, put it on the dashboard of your car. Like, just, if it's not conscious, if it's not already like ingrained into your head, then give yourself constant reminders of it, okay? Because it's like the old saying, if you hang out in a barbershop long enough, you're bound to get a haircut. If you're just surrounded by something for long enough, you're bound to like adapt to your surroundings. So make your surroundings super 100% super positive. Okay? I'm not saying yet that you're gonna block out every single bit of negativity, but add more positivity to your life through yourself. Because if it's not already ingrained into you, then you need to keep training your mind to do that. Because society in general is not going to do that most of the time. Society in general does not challenge you. It does not encourage you to go beyond your comfort zone. Society in general is going to encourage you to play it safe. They're going to let you be wimpy and weak. Your loved ones, in most cases, are going to let you be wimpy and weak. Not even kidding either. They'll be like, oh, you've worked hard enough. Like, you're doing a good job. You'll be okay. No, that doesn't get you to where you want to be. But that's the kind of society that we live in. And that's why most people are pretty mediocre too. It's a lot of mediocrity. So challenge yourself today to handle adversity better than you've ever handled it before. Challenge yourself today to respond with positivity. Challenge yourself today to be the best version of yourself. I've asked you guys this question multiple times, but when you go on your demos, how would you go into it if you just sold, like if you already knew they wanted 5 ultimates, or you just sold 5 ultimate sets on one appointment? No matter who the customer is, walk in with that type of brass, with that type of confidence. Walk in like you know that they're going to get an ultimate or a Cutco kitchen. You just have to pick out the color, or you just have to help them pick out the color. Confidence, guys. Handle adversity. Handle the challenges that come your way. Rely on your team. Rely on your coaching staff. Things get, like, it's okay to vent. It's okay to get it out there. But don't turn the 1s and 2s and 3s on the Richter scale. Don't turn them into like their 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. If it's not worth spending more than 5 minutes on, don't spend more than 5 minutes being mad or upset about it. Vent, get it out, move forward. If you do that, you will finish the rest of this push strong. We basically have 8 days left, including today. Today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 8 days. Because the drive is Tuesday morning. We'll be headed off to Detroit for SC2. So, how's your story for the SC2 push going to finish up? It's not about whether or not you sell 10K. That's obviously the end goal. But it's what you do along the way that truly matters, guys. That's what it's all about. What do you do along the way? It's like the last quote here that I posted from Tony Robbins. It's not about achieving the goal. It's about who you have to become in order to achieve the goal. The juice is all in the growth. So in this job, guys, the juice is all in the growth during the SC2 push. So ask yourself, have I really pushed myself so far? If not, can you push yourself these last 8 days? Can you get out of your comfort zone? The answer is, of course you can, but it's all a choice. So this morning, if you could post your top takeaways on the Trailblazer page so that other people can benefit from your learning, that would be excellent. I will post the video of this as soon as it uploads to my computer. Then I get it on YouTube. But I appreciate you guys' time. Make sure you check in on the PDI page. We have our Wednesday night team meeting starting at 6:30. Just as a reminder. We're going to do a quick team night out after that, maybe like some ice cream or something like that. Got some good promotions that are about to be recognized. I know Caroline's coming up on her 20K. I think she's less than 1,000 away. I know Brandon is like 1,500 or so away from his 20K. So we could be having multiple promotions to announce for that, which would be pretty exciting. So today's a great day to go after it, guys. I believe in you. Your team believes in you. You got to believe in you. Handle the adversity, grow from the challenges, be anti-fragile, and be tough on yourself, okay? So I appreciate your guys' time. Again, post your takeaways in the WhatsApp group, the Trailblazer group, and then check in on the PDI group and give me a call before your first demo today. So have a wonderful day. If you guys want to come into the office, I will be in the office probably around 10 o'clock or so. And then, but you're more welcome to come in. So looking forward to it, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.